Yo, what's going on, y'all? You know what today is? Yep, it's another Brother J day. Peace, love, and soul. Get that gold. And by the way, I don't beg y'all to like, subscribe, or share. But if you want to like, or you want to subscribe, or you want to share, then do that. February is just around the corner, and that's when us serious prospectors are going to get out there in the field and start making some moves to get that good shiny stuff. Go and shake that honey and get that shiny. Know what I'm saying? That's what's up. Let let your creator give you your paycheck, and he'll bless you with everything you need right from the ground. Remember that from video number 1? Alright. So you see where I'm coming from. Okay, so in this video, we're going to definitely build a blue bowl, and we're going to get right to that. And I promised I'd show you another little thing that you're going to need for processing really fine materials, especially black sand. Mostly black sand is going to be of just a few constituents. There'll either be iron, which is magnetic, or there'll be magnetite, which is also magnetic, or it could be silver. Now, I haven't talked a lot about silver, but I'm going to put this out to you so you remember. When silver oxidizes, it gets jet black. So if you have a heavy material in your pan and it's jet black, there's a strong chance that that's silver. And you don't want to throw the silver away. Silver's selling at $16 an ounce. You're not going to pay your rent with it, but hey, it'll buy you gas, it'll buy you cigarettes, it'll buy sodas, water, things like that that you're going to need in the field, you're going to want in the field for sure. One thing about me, I don't mind working hard, but I don't like being uncomfortable, thirsty, or hungry. I like to be comfortable no matter what I'm doing. Prospecting is hard enough, so I try to keep it, I try to keep my weight low so that I don't have to carry a rack of stuff going out, because I know I'm going to have to carry a whole lot of weight coming back. Even if you got nothing but black sands, let's say you process 100 pounds of raw material in a day, you're going to come back with probably 20 or 30 pounds of cons that you're going to con down in your cabin or wherever you process. And that's going to be heavy. If you got to carry that 2 or 3 miles back to your vehicle, that's going to be heavy because you're going to have to carry all your prospecting equipment along with that. Keep that in mind. Also, remember, I done told y'all, you're going to need a lot of buckets. Eat ice cream. Eat ice cream. That sounds crazy, but I'm so sincere about it. These buckets hold a gallon, sometimes a gallon and a half, depending on the brand of ice cream you get. They're almost indestructible, and they're useful for more than just carrying your materials around. I'll show you how to process materials right out of your bucket in another video. But yeah, you want to have something very light that you can stack inside each other, that you can carry easily. Eat ice cream, because carrying 5-gallon buckets, they're not really that heavy, but they're bulky. Ice cream buckets are not that bulky. I can carry 10 ice cream buckets as easily as I can carry one 5-gallon bucket. And 10 ice cream buckets holds 10 gallons of material. Simple as that. You want to make your life easy, okay? So that's a lot of talk on those kind of things. I promised I'd show you one little secret. This is a real prospector secret that I'm going to put out to you on how to deal with black sand and get that stuff out of your gold. And that would be this. Can you see it? You see that thing in there that looks like an egg, like an oblong egg? You see the cellophane packages in? You actually need both. They work together. We'll get to that probably toward the end of this video series. So there's 6 videos in each series, and we'll get to that at the end of this video series. Sorry for the little video skip, but I had a little trouble with the cellophane bag here. It didn't want to open up. But this is what I wanted to show you. That oblong object right there is a high power magnet. This pair of scissors weighs about a half a pound. This magnet picks it up with no trouble. Now, you can get magnets in all kinds of shapes and sizes. And this magnet right here, I'm not going to lie to you, somebody gave this to me. I have no idea where he got it from, but if you can find out where you can get this kind of magnet, it's round, all the way around, it's round like an egg, and it's oblong. and it's incredibly useful. The shape of this magnet is incredibly useful, and when I start to show you what we're going to use it for, you'll understand why. But just remember, for processing black sand out of the gold, one of the final steps will involve this magnet right here, and you're going to have it in order to do it. I can show you how to get around a lot of problems in processing gold, but there are a few things that there's just no way around. Having a magnet for your black sand is one of those things that there really is no way around. Now, I strongly recommend you to check out the videos that I posted on right here on YouTube in gold market prospecting, because not all of them are my videos. I spent about a week sifting through all of the gold prospecting videos I could find on YouTube, and I put the 3 best videos right there on gold market prospecting to show you how to get gold out of black sand without anything but a 12-inch pan. Doc over at the Gold Hog, as far as I'm concerned, you are the best at it, and I give you credit for that. It's my ambition to work up to getting that gold out of the black sand the way you do it, because I'm not good like you are, but I'll get there. But yeah, I'm letting y'all know Doc over at Gold Hawk, he's definitely the best that I've seen so far at getting the gold separated from the blondes and the black sand with nothing but a pan. I will also recommend my man AskJeffWilliams.com. Sorry about that, I had a little brain glitch. But AskJeffWilliams.com. He's really good at getting the gold out of the blondes and black sand also. But the number one reason I recommend you check AskJeffWilliams.com right here on YouTube is because he's the one that I started with. Now, I'll tell you, if I have any video mentors as far as prospecting, ask Jeff Williams, my boy Jeff Williams. He's one of my number one mentors as far as gold prospecting. He taught me how to identify raw materials in the wilderness so that I can look at the side of a cliff and know if there's any reason to stop there and sample or not. He taught me how to look for the right kind of rocks, and he also taught me a lot about how gold ends up in the rock. Now, I'm going to tell you about that right now, but it really helps to have a video. The way gold ends up accessible to you and I to prospect it, even if it doesn't come out as placer in the stream, when it is in the rock, it is almost always pushed up by liquid viscosity of superheated materials that melt quartz and salt and everything else in the earth. Everything gets melted to a liquid, and it pushes that gold up. Now, as that liquid rises to the surface, it cools down. And we're not talking about the volcanic lava. It's my understanding now that volcanic lava doesn't really have a whole lot of gold in it. It's the liquids, the steam, the water liquids that are pushing up through the fissures in the earth. That's where most of the gold is. And what happens is, as it is rising towards the surface of the earth, it starts to cool down, and when it gets down to about 600 degrees, the gold starts to settle out of that viscous fluid, and it pushes up against the rock, usually granite or whatever that primary rock surface is. It could be sandstone or something like that, but it's usually granite. And the other liquids in the material start to cool down at about 400 degrees and turn into quartz. That's one of the reasons you're going to be looking for quartz, white quartz, or what they call smoky quartz. And smoky quartz basically is in the center, and the gold is pressed between the quartz and the granite walls of the fissure. And so you're not going to find a whole heap of gold in the quartz. Where you will find the gold is pressed up against the granite wall in the fissure. So you chip the quartz out, and as you're chipping the quartz out, the outside edges of the quartz, well, if there's gold-bearing material there, which there usually will be, then the outside edges of the quartz will have gold in it, and along the granite wall, that'll have gold in it. And in the center of the body of the quartz, there won't be a lot of gold there because it's been pressed against the granite walls. Jeff, good looking out on that little bit of education. I also got a little bit of that from some other places, but you know, that's basically what it is. So I recommend you surf around and try to find some videos on the subject of how Mother Earth puts the gold in your hand in the first place. It's very good to know. Okay, so I showed you the magnet. We'll get to that by video 6, I promise. But for right now, I'm just going to set that to the side, and we're going to get to building this blue bowl. Okay? First, let me show you two setups on this blue bowl, or let me just call it a liquid gravity bowl, because the bowls aren't blue, and they're not technically blue bowls. They just do the same job. Okay, so we'll call it a liquid gravity bowl. I'm going to show you two setups I have here. It's been almost a year since I was at base camp, but I still have some raw materials in this bowl right here from the last time I was out there working. That's one way I know for a fact that there's a lot of heavies in here. There's some pyrite in here too, because a lot of wind blew a lot of pyrite and dust in my bowl. Okay, so we start out with just a regular Dollar General's cheap salad bowl. Alright, we got ourselves a piece of regular garden hose, standard size. Okay, on this setup I have a water valve here, and the reason for that is to control water flow and water pressure. In addition to that, I got two lock clamps. There's a lock clamp here, a ring clamp, and there's a ring clamp here. And you might notice this little piece here. I got this little piece of hose and set it inside of the bigger hose and locked it down. And the reason for that was to increase the water pressure just a little bit, because I didn't really have enough water pressure initially. So I didn't really need this valve, because it just wasn't enough pressure in the first place. But once I put this little hose in here, then I had a little bit too much pressure, so I had to add a valve to control the water pressure coming out of the hose. Alright, what else are you going to need with this? You're going to need a way to push the water. Here's what you're going to need to get. This is a bilge pump. Okay? A bilge pump, what does a bilge pump do? It takes water from the bottom of a boat and it pushes it out of the boat over the water line. Okay? That's all it does. It pushes the water. So if I put this in a tub, I could use this to make a quick field shower. I can use this to run water through my liquid gravity bowl. I can use this to hose down materials before I classify them. It's useful for a whole lot of things, but you want to get this. This is a 500 gallon per hour water pump. Bilge pump. You can get them at Walmart. They cost $30. Okay? There are a lot of things you can get around, but like the magnet, a bilge pump is one of those modern things that you really don't want to go in the field without. You're going to need that. You're also going to need some batteries. I have my batteries down there, a couple of lawnmower batteries. They cost $35 at AutoZone. Okay? Don't get car batteries, because car batteries are twice as heavy as lawnmower batteries, and lawnmower batteries actually work better for this kind of thing. You could also call them golf cart batteries. But the thing is, a golf cart battery is designed to take a charge, release a charge. An automobile battery is not designed to do that. An automobile battery is designed to take a trickle charge and release it in a huge burst. So if you're letting the power out of an automotive battery slowly, it degrades the battery. You want to get golf cart batteries, and like I said, you can get those at AutoZone or Walmart for about $30. So get yourself two of those batteries and make sure they're always charged before you go out in the field. If you're in the city or you live on grid, then you can charge your batteries with a regular battery charger. If you live off grid, like I do in the summertime and in the prospecting season, then you're going to want to get yourself a rollable 100-watt solar panel. That's going to cost you about $250, but it's 100% worth the price. Okay, you can get a hard panel, but hard panels are very breakable. I'm going to tell you right now, hard panels are very breakable. They're cheaper, but they break. If you get a flexible, rollable 100-watt panel, it'll last you for years and years and years and years and years. And it's worth it. That's all I can tell you. It's worth it. You know, you're not trying to use that panel to power your radio and your microwave and your VCR. You're just using it to charge your batteries. And for that purpose, it's 100% worth it. So, Okay, so we went over the basic parts here, and the last thing I'm going to mention to you is wires. If you look at these wires, you'll see that I extended these wires. And the reason for that is because you're going to need to move your processing equipment frequently. Sometimes even when you're working, you're going to need to adjust it for light or something like that. So you don't want to have your wires so short that they're constricted right to the battery. You want to be able to move them around so that you can get good light to see what you're doing, and so that you can dismantle the materials and parts and things like that. And that brings us to the next thing. Let's get right into the construction of this gadget, our liquid gravity processing bowl. Once again, sorry about the cough. I got a little cold going on here. I forgot one very important thing you need. Actually, two. This bowl, if you look inside it, you'll see there are two bowls. I had the white bowl. I got that at Dollar General for $1. That's right, it's just a plastic salad bowl. Inside it, I have also Dollar General. You can get 3 of these for $1. That's the deal. These are plastic, just small plastic bowls. They hold about 22 ounces of liquid. A cereal bowl. This is a cereal bowl, basically a plastic cereal bowl. And I very carefully cut the top out of it, and I used Gorilla Glue to seal it to the salad bowl at the bottom. There's a hole in the top, and all I did, remember how we made our snuffer bottle and we had to grind out the top a little to get the tubing in there? No, you don't remember that because I didn't have audio on that video, so I didn't upload it. But I'll go ahead and do that in the next video, and I'll show you how to make a snuffer bottle. But you're going to have to take a knife and very gently grind out a perfect circle so that you can fit your hose through that circle into your bowl. In this blue bowl, or liquid gravity processor, I actually ran a screw in here so that I could constrict the hose and make the hose stay stationary, because having the hose in the bottom of the bowl is not good. It'll obstruct the water flow. You want the hose to be a little bit above the bottom of the bowl, but you don't want water falling into the fluid going around the bowl, because that'll also obstruct the process. What you want is for the water to hit the side of the bowl and travel into the bottom of the bowl without obstruction, okay, or agitation. And the only way to do that is so that ultimately the water line will be above the hose, but the hose will be above the bottom crease. That way the bottom crease doesn't have any turbulence in it, and it can do the processing job that you made it to do. Okay, one more piece of equipment you're going to need to have. Once again, Dollar General. I got this for, I think this was $3, but it's a 5-gallon trash can. Now there are two really nice things about this can. The first thing is, with no problem at all, I can fold it like a piece of pita bread. When you get in the field, you'll find out why that is useful. First of all, it keeps you from getting so damn wet. Secondly, this is not plastic. Well, actually it is plastic, but it's kind of like that Rubbermaid plastic. It's damn near indestructible. I defy you to destroy this thing with anything other than fire. You can melt it, but if you don't put fire to it, it is almost indestructible. Now what you're going to need to do with this, you see that hole right there? That hole? You're going to have to grind that hole in there with a knife, just the same way you grind the hole into the gravity bowl. Okay? And the reason for that is your hose is going to go into here, and it's going to go down in the trash can where your water pump is going to sit. So your water pump will sit in the bottom of here, and you'll have water up to about here in the can, and your hose from the pump is going to run out of here and connect into your bowl. Your bowl is going to sit on top of your trash can, so obviously it's very important that the can you get accommodates your bowl so that your bowl can sit on top of your can. Okay? Alright, now I'm going to pause the video for a little second so I can do a setup, and then I'm going to show you how to put it all together. Well, before I do that, let me show you this. Okay, so here's another setup on the same idea. I already showed you this hose and water control, but if you look in here, you'll see that this catch, this trap, is much smaller than that trap. That trap has about a 4-inch rise to it, so it takes a lot of water pressure in order to push anything over that 4-inch rise. I use this one for processing pebbles down to sand. Okay, this isn't even for catching gold. This is just to process out all the blonde pebbles, and all I catch at the bottom of this is pickers, grabbers, nuggets, black sand, micro gold. Okay, then I take out my pickers, my nuggets, my grabbers, and I pour my black sand and whatever else. Usually it's not much left in there but black sand and gold, so I'll pour that into here, either that or my 12-inch pan. But anyway, sometimes if I'm in a rush, shouldn't be in a rush, but sometimes it's getting close to dark and you want to just get the work done because you're tired and everything like that. I understand, I do, I've been there. So once I get my pickers and my grabbers and stuff from the 4-inch trap, I will pour everything else that I have left in here, and I will process my black sand and my black gold through this 1/2-inch trap. It's only got a 1/2-inch rise on it, so you don't need a lot of water pressure. Everything will fly right out of this pan right through the trap if you don't have the water pressure set. On this, it's very important to have a pressure valve, a water valve, so you can control your water pressure going into the bowl. Very important, because this only has a 1/2-inch trap on it. Okay, anything that gets over that 1/2 inches is going to go through the trap, and if your water pressure is too high, your micro gold for sure will go through that trap, and a lot of your flour gold will too. By the way, I'm not sure how every prospector defines it, but I qualify flour gold as anything smaller than what I can grab with my fingers down to a 1/2 millimeter. I qualify micro gold as a 1/2 millimeter down to microscopic. In other words, you might see the flash from it, but there is no way that you can actually visibly see that little teeny piece of gold giving you that flash of light. It's so small that you would literally need a microscope, or at the very least 10x magnification, to visually see it. Otherwise, all you'll be able to see is the flash. So yeah, that's how I qualify the difference between flour gold and micro gold. Flour gold is anything from a millimeter down to a 1/2 millimeter, and a 1/2 millimeter or less is micro gold. Okay, cool. So right now I do have to organize my thoughts before we move on to the next step. So let me organize my thoughts, and while I do that, you go and collect the materials you need to build this contraption, and then we'll walk through how to actually build it. In the video following that, we'll set the whole thing up and we'll give it a test run and we'll see what we come up with. Okay? Alright. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Good looking out. I appreciate y'all. Peace, love, and soul. Because it's always Brother J Day. And get that gold. Catch y'all in a minute.